Midjourney has just released its long-anticipated version 7. This update boasts smarter prompt handling, higher image quality, and improved detail coherence. Let's check it out. There are a few updates in the prompt box. The P icon stands for personalize. We'll come back to that later. In settings, everything is mostly the same, but you can now select V7. I'm on the basic plan, so relax mode isn't available, and turbo mode uses more credits. V7 is the first model with personalization enabled by default. Before generating images, you'll need to complete the personalization setup. You'll be shown a total of 200 images, displayed 2 at a time. For each pair, choose the one you prefer by either clicking the image or pressing 1 or 2 on your keyboard. The process takes about 5 minutes. Once finished, you can either start generating with your personalized profile or continue refining it. With personalized turned on, all images will reflect your visual preferences, but it can be turned off at any time. Let's try out this prompt featuring a woman in Times Square, originally generated using version 6.1. I'll adjust the aspect ratio and make sure version 7 is selected. You can choose either standard or draft mode. I'll cover the differences between those later. Here are the results: version 6.1 on the left and version 7 on the right. In V6, the women have more stylized features, with overly smooth skin and a slightly idealized facial structure. The overall look feels cinematic, with artistically exaggerated color and texture. In V7, the results are noticeably more naturalistic. The skin shows realistic texture and pores, and the colors are less saturated, giving the image a more grounded, photorealistic quality. Even the fabric details in the clothing come through more clearly, enhancing realism. Now let's rerun the same prompt with personalized turned off. In this case, the difference is minimal because during training, I selected mostly photorealistic styles, so my personalized results already lean in that direction. I disable personalize for the remaining generations in this video. In this example, most of V6's results look like painterly renderings or digital oil paintings, with the exception of the second image, which appears more realistic. The women's skin tends to be overly smooth with a stylized or subtly airbrushed appearance. In contrast, V7 delivers much more photorealistic results, resembling professional headshots. Lighting, skin texture, and facial detail shows more realism. In this example of an old man, V6 leaned toward a painted illustration style, while V7 produced photorealistic results with impressive facial detail. The men in V7 look like real people you might pass on the street. In this one, the difference in version 7 is immediately noticeable. The dog, his clothing, and the overall setting all appear more refined and sophisticated. In every V7 image, the dog is actually holding the hamburger, which adds to the prompt accuracy, something that's less consistent in V6. However, I will say that the hamburger in 6.1 looks slightly more realistic in terms of texture and detail. Here's Napoleon Bonaparte at a coffee shop using a smartphone. In V6, the images are more evenly lit and grounded in realism. Most scenes feel dominated by natural daylight, creating a casual, almost documentary-like atmosphere. The details are clear, the quality is high, and the overall look leans more toward modern photography. Version 7, on the other hand, feels more moody and cinematic. The lighting is often warm or diffused, and some images resemble classical paintings. There's a clear shift toward a more stylized and painterly aesthetic. Next, I wanted to test prompt adherence, so I used the prompt: a man doing a handstand on a skateboard while a dog jumps through a hoop beside him. Version 6.1 completely missed the mark. None of the images captured the full scene correctly. Version 7 performed better. Every image successfully showed a man doing a handstand on a skateboard, but it still struggled with the dog jumping through the hoop. Only the final image got that part right. Also, the man in the third image has an extra arm, so there are still some anatomical issues. Overall, version 7 shows a slight improvement in prompt adherence compared to 6.1. That said, I personally prefer the art styles in V6, which feel more visually appealing to me. I like using this prompt to test adherence, since it includes a lot of specific detail. Both versions actually did a pretty good job capturing the overall scene. But when you zoom in, you'll notice that, in many of the images, the hands and feet are still distorted. and that's true for both versions. I was hoping this issue would be resolved in version 7, especially since improved anatomy was one of the key upgrades, but unfortunately it's still a problem. Also, text rendering still hasn't improved, as you can see in these images. One of the major updates in version 7 is draft mode, which generates images at 10 times the speed and half the cost, though at lower quality. You can also now generate images conversationally, similar to chatting with a chatbot. To enable draft mode, just click Draft Mode, or add --draft to the end of your prompt. There's even a new voice mode, which lets you speak your prompts out loud, and images will be generated based on what you say. Okay, let's try 2 astronauts floating outside a damaged space station, one reaching toward the other who is drifting away, Earth visible far below, cinematic perspective, realistic lighting, and reflections on visors. Aspect ratio 16:9. You can see the images are now being generated based on what I said, and they're appearing very quickly. I'd rather not use voice mode, so let me disable it. Now let's try adding a dog to the image. What you're seeing are the images being generated in real time. Nothing has been sped up, but the results aren't great. While a dog does appear in all the images, they look off. In 2 of them, one of the astronauts was replaced by a dog, and in the 3rd, the astronaut's arm looks like a dog leg, like something out of The Thing. This might be due to generating in draft mode. If you're happy with the results, you can click Enhance or Vary, and it will re-render the image at full quality. I'll go ahead and enhance this one. The quality definitely improves, but only one of the enhanced images still includes a dog. Also, keep in mind, the enhanced images won't be exact versions of the draft ones. They'll be entirely new variations, just at a higher quality. Generations in draft mode will also have a draft label, and the prompt might not always match exactly what you say or type. Currently, upscaling, editing, and retexturing still fall back to the version 6 models, but these features will be updated for version 7 in the future. Some tools, like Weird and Character Reference, aren't yet compatible with V7. However, you can still use image references and style references, as well as features like Chaos, Stylize, and Mood Boards. More updates are expected over the next 60 days, with one of the most significant being new character and object reference features. Honestly, I'm a bit underwhelmed by this update. Midjourney has always delivered high-quality images, and while version 7 does offer slightly better quality in some cases, like photorealism, the difference isn't dramatic. I did notice some improvement in prompt adherence, like in the skateboard example, but it's not a huge leap forward. Draft mode is a nice addition, and I appreciate the chat-like editing workflow similar to what ChatGPT offers, but in practice, I don't think I'll be using it much. I was also hoping for improved text rendering, but Midjourney still lags behind competitors like Ideogram and even ChatGPT's image generator in this area. They're way ahead when it comes to accurate typography. That said, I am looking forward to the upcoming updates, especially the character and object reference features. If Midjourney delivers on those, version 7 could become a lot more powerful in the next couple of months. So what do you think of this tool? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our content. Thank you for watching.